In Gypsy Moon, 2024, the story follows Lena, Gypsy Moreno, a fierce wanderer who has lived her entire adult life on the edge, drifting through dusty highways and forgotten towns while trying to escape the shadows of her past. The film opens with Gypsy singing at a dimly lit bar, her voice raw with emotion, hinting at the pain she carries. After her performance, she plans to slip away quietly, but fate intervenes when she encounters Eli, a frightened young boy hiding behind the bar's dumpster. Eli reveals that he escaped from a dangerous crime lord named Riker, a man Gypsy once crossed paths with and barely survived. Realizing the boy's life is in danger, Gypsy reluctantly takes him with her, knowing that helping him will expose her to the very world she has tried so hard to forget. As they flee across state lines, their bond grows despite Gypsy's attempts to keep her distance. Riker's men, ruthless and relentless, track them through back roads, abandoned motels, and crowded bus stations, tearing apart anyone who gets in their way. Gypsy teaches Eli how to stay hidden, how to stay strong, and how to trust no one, yet she finds herself breaking her own rules by caring for him as if he were family. The tension rises when they are cornered at a rundown gas station, forcing Gypsy to fight back with the same ferocity she once swore she would never use again. It becomes clear that protecting Eli means confronting her past, facing Riker, and finally choosing whether she will continue running forever or stand her ground against the darkness she left behind. As Gypsy drives through the night with Eli curled up in the passenger seat, memories from her past return in fragmented flashes, a violent relationship she escaped, a promise she failed to keep, and the guilt that has stayed with her ever since. She struggles with the fear that she might not be strong enough to protect Eli, yet every mile they cover strengthens her resolve. Meanwhile, Detective Warren, who has been tracked. As the second half of Gypsy Moon, 2024, unfolds, Gypsy and Eli reach a remote desert town where they hope to vanish long enough to decide their future. But danger follows closely, and Gypsy realizes she must stop running if she wants to protect the boy who has become her responsibility. She turns to Rosa, an old friend who once wandered the roads with her but eventually chose a quieter life. Rosa gives them shelter but warns that Riker's influence stretches farther than either of them expects. Gypsy contemplates surrendering herself to keep Eli safe, but the boy refuses to let her go, begging her to stay and fight. When Riker's men storm the outskirts of the town, Gypsy understands that confrontation is no longer avoidable. She meets the town sheriff, a weary yet honest man who recognizes Riker's name instantly and agrees to help them. Tension rises as the townsfolk prepare themselves, boarding up windows and gathering in silence while Gypsy trains Eli on how to stay calm through the chaos. Gypsy, burdened by years of regret, begins to wonder if she has the right to protect Eli, but the boy's quiet faith in her slowly rebuilds the courage she thought she had lost. The sheriff explains that Riker has already crossed state lines with hired hunters, leaving them only hours before he reaches the town. Rosa urges Gypsy to fight back rather than flee again, reminding her that strength comes from choosing who she wants to be now. At sunrise, they form a risky plan to lure Riker into the canyon road just beyond town, a narrow path where Gypsy once survived an ambush years ago. She knows every bend, every blind corner, and believes it gives them a chance to turn the tables. When Riker arrives, the confrontation becomes a desperate battle of wills. Gypsy uses her knowledge of the land to outmaneuver him, drawing him into the tightest stretch of the canyon where the sheriff and Rosa are waiting. The standoff erupts in chaos, but Gypsy refuses to back down. In the final moment,